Code Catch Up. My name is Jamie Jones and I want to have a quick talk about GatsbyJS. Now, I think I've talked about it before in the podcast, but I haven't actually really given it a proper go. So I tried to do this the other night. I had a design that I did up, very basic design, mind you, to do for my little business site. The idea was to keep something fairly low profile, neutral, but still looks okay, not something that I'm trying to draw in tons of work or anything like that. So I thought, really want to get this up. I want it to be a static site. I really want to make sure I follow the Jamstack promise that I kind of gave to myself, that I'm really going to try and develop most of my sites where possible using the Jamstack, which is JavaScript, APIs and markup. So keeping it fairly minimal in terms of requirements for hosting and things like that, as well as it keeps the site fairly low maintenance and low security risks and things like that. So I decided to check out GatsbyJS for this project in particular, and it was amazing, an absolutely amazing experience. Now, if you don't know what Gatsby is, let me just go and have a look at my monitor here. So things that it gives you, it's got a modern web tech without the headache. So basically they say, enjoy the power of the latest web technologies, React.js, Webpack, modern JavaScript, and CSS and more. And basically what you get from that is it's all set up ready to go for you. So you don't have to really do anything. It's literally, you run a CLI command, it gives you a Gatsby site, and you can do tons of stuff with it. Like everything you'd want to do with quote unquote modern web development. So the other things here, I'll go through some of these main points. Bring your own data. So Gatsby's rich data plugin ecosystem lets you build sites with the data you want from one or many sources. Pull data from headless CMSs, so that's something that's becoming more and more popular now, is especially mainly because of the Jamstack, but having your CMS kind of hosted offsite by, delivered by APIs essentially. Software as a service, services, APIs, databases, your file system and more, directly into your pages. Now here's the catch, with GraphQL. Very interesting point. I didn't actually get to use this with my site, but another one that I've got coming up, I might be able to do that. Now, it doesn't mean you get to run GraphQL on your server because you technically don't have a server with the Jamstack site. So what it does is it allows you to have like this faux dynamic site locally, which then compiles down to a static site. So very interesting point, and something to be keep in mind when you're developing a site with Gatsby. You're not going to have a real live database, a GraphQL database there for you. So next thing they're saying is scaled to the entire internet. So GatsbyJS is internet scale. I find this is a little bit buzzwordy, but kind of true. So forget complicated deploys with databases and servers and their expensive, time-consuming setup costs, maintenance and scaling fears. GatsbyJS builds your site as static files, which can be deployed easily on dozens of services. Now, for me, I deployed it on Netlify because Netlify allows you to essentially host static sites very easily. It's pretty much just hooking into your Git service, say GitHub for example, and when you make a commit to a certain branch, you can set all these settings. It will then deploy the site and it can determine what you're using. So Gatsby works out of the box with it, which is great. The other benefit with Netlify is that I can set up HTTPS with Let's Encrypt and have it automatically redirect your HTTP traffic to HTTPS. And this is all after a couple clicks. I can also manage your DNS if you want to. And really, this site that I did now, it is basic, like super basic. There's nothing special about it. It's not an amazing design, doesn't do anything really amazing. It's basically could have done it with just HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. Don't really need it, but I could have done it that way. But I wouldn't have got a bunch of the other benefits that I do get from this, which if I extend the site, I'll definitely get it from it. But basically, it does everything I need it to do, potentially, and going forward in the future. So pretty nice there, and Netlify just handles it so well. It's brilliant. The next thing they're saying here is future-proof your website. So don't build a website with last decade's tech. The future of web is mobile, JavaScript, and APIs. The Jamstack, basically that's what they're talking about. Every website is a web app, and every web app is a website. GatsbyJS is the universal JavaScript framework you've been waiting for, and it does so much stuff. So especially if you're doing React sites and you want to do up like a basic site that doesn't really need too much, this is absolutely perfect because it's basically like creating a React application. So it's really nice there. Now these next two kind of points that they're talking about, static progressive web apps. So GatsbyJS is a static progressive web app. So the PWA thing, it's kind of a big deal and it is quite important. So basically it's a static PWA generator. You get code and data splitting out of the box. So code and data splitting, very important. Here, Gatsby loads only the critical HTML, CSS, data, and JavaScript, so your site loads as fast as possible. Really, really important point here, critical CSS. So for various pages, because it's built with JavaScript, you can easily abstract, and with React you can extract what styles you need and load them outside of a normal style sheet and make sure that that page loads exceptionally quick. So once loaded, Gatsby prefetches resources for other pages, so clicking around the site feels incredibly fast, and it does. It's like boom, snap. And the next thing is speed past the competition. So GatsbyJS builds the fastest possible website. Instead of waiting to generate pages when requested, pre-build pages and lift them into a global cloud of servers ready to be delivered instantly to users wherever they are. And that really depends on your provider, and generally you should be right because most of these providers for static sites use a CDN of some sort, so your stuff's going to be super quick. Now what you get from it is just, it's mind-blowing. From what you get out of the box, you get this, I wouldn't say it's opinionated, but it's enough to kind of get the site going and doing everything you need to do. So the boilerplate that it gives you there as like an example covers the basics of what you will need, and then the docs, which are great. There are some sections that are lacking some docs, but it's very, very little. But it gives you everything you need to know to get up and running. So I hadn't really used Gatsby. I had a quick little look at the code base, quick little play around the CLI when I first seen it, and now I went and actually implemented something, and it was super, super quick. So I got this site up, so I coded it, got Gatsby set up, deployed, and everything in like half an hour, I think it was, or something. Really quick. It was crazy. I didn't even really notice. I was like, before bed I want to get this done, so I just quickly smashed it out, and it was really, it took away the barriers to entry. It was very simple to get going, to discover what I needed to know to complete it. It was really awesome. So that's essentially it. Now this is kind of like a preview to what I'll probably do, is a rundown through GatsbyJS as I get to know it a little bit more, and just give a kind of like a walkthrough first and then more of an in-depth series. I think I'm going to do that because I really find this is probably going to be like a go-to for me for developing sites now, even if it's just a prototype that I can then turn into something a bit more full-on. So with React as a server-side rendered application or something like that, I can use this as my base as a prototype, which is really nice. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Have you used Gatsby? What are your thoughts on it? I'd love to know. Just leave a comment in the comment section below. That'd be awesome. But that's essentially it. Just wanted to kind of get this out. I was a little bit excited about it, which I know that's kind of a warning sign. You shouldn't use something you're excited about, but I think it's worth trying out. If you haven't tried it before, check it out. Even if it's just like for like a quick dummy project or something like that, try it out. You might love it. Might be able to apply it throughout other projects that you work on. So that's all I really got for this one, and we'll catch the next video. Bye.